Okay, 3.3 is order of operations, where you are finally going to use all of BEDMAS. The only thing you haven't used yet is the E in it. So now that we're on the exponents unit, you're going to use that E, so you're going to have to know how to do all 6 steps, and please make sure you leave adding and subtracting until the end. So, where we're going to start with is just simple things. We're going to go through 3 quick examples to show you where exponents fit in. Okay, we're going to go through repeated multiplication and then the shortcut just as an explanation. I don't care which one you use, obviously using BEDMAS will be quicker, but if you like writing order of operation down, please use that. Okay, so for the first one, we have 2 times 3 cubed. Okay, the first method will be repeated multiplication, second one is just using BEDMAS. So 3 cubed is the same as saying 3 times 3 times 3. So you can do that all in those brackets, or doing the BEDMAS way, just cube 3, which gives you 27. Okay, and then last step now is anytime you have a number, which is 2, next to a bracket that means multiplication. Okay, make sure you remember that. Both of those mean multiplication. So the last step is either going 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 to give you 54, or just 2 times 27, you get 54 both ways. So there's the first example. Okay, example 2 for B, where you have negative 3 times negative 4 squared. And again, we'll go through both ways, one repeated multiplication, the other just using BEDMAS. So negative 4, when it is in brackets and squared, is negative 4 times negative 4. Or you can just take negative 4 and square it. Either way, it gives you 16. Okay, and then the last step again is negative 3 times negative 4 times negative 4, or just negative 3 times 16. Regardless, you get negative 48 as your answer. Okay, last one before we get into a little more work. Negative 3 to the power of 4. Okay, you know with a negative sign not there, it gets pulled out in front. Now, in the homework for 3.2 as well as the chapter review and practice test that we did this week, having a negative in front really means that there's a negative 1 in front. We just don't write the 1 ever. So this negative right here means the same as having a negative 1 in front. So inside the brackets you have 3 being multiplied 4 times and then being multiplied by a negative 1 at the end. So 3 to the power of 4 is 81 times a negative 1 gives you negative 81. Okay, so in your book, page 111, try questions 5, 6, and 7, just to make sure you can do those first simple few steps. It's your choice whether you repeated multiplication or BEDMAS, just whatever is more comfortable for you right now. Okay, so we'll go through 2 examples now showing the step-by-step work. I know you can see the whole thing, but just follow along as we go. So you're starting with BEDMAS now every time. Okay, no more repeated multiplication. Doing it the grown-up, almost in high school way. So you're going to get these long equations now, okay, that look like this. This is where we're starting from. So 3 squared minus 4 divided by 2 plus negative 4 squared. Okay, and if you notice when you're looking at this negative 4, okay, there are no brackets around the negative 4 portion, so this is 4 squared, and you're multiplying by a negative 1, like we did in the last example. So the first thing you look at is inside the brackets. In this case, it's also exponents. So negative 4 squared, so it's 4 squared, the negative 1 in the end gives you negative 16. Everything else is still staying the same. Do not subtract yet, for those of you who like to do that all the time. Okay, so the brackets are taken care of. Okay, second step is do that exponent. So 3 squared becomes 9. Now you have 9 minus 4 divided by 2 plus a negative 16. So the next step will be division. So 4 divided by 2. So this 9 minus stays here all the way to the end. Those of you that love to subtract early, you can't. Division first. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. So now you have 9 minus 2 plus a negative 16, so you're going to do the adding and subtracting. Adding a negative number, like you are right here, is the same as subtracting. That's why it becomes subtraction. So the last step is to do all the subtraction. 9 minus 2 is 7. 7 minus 16 gives you an answer of negative 9. Okay, if you're not sure about that, just pause this, rewind it to go through the steps again. Okay, second example. This one's a little bit longer. Okay, so step 1, looking at this very long equation now. So first step is looking at the brackets, and then when you're inside those brackets, you restart BEDMAS. So we're going to start combining steps to make this a little shorter. So inside the brackets for the first bracket, you will calculate the exponent. And inside the second bracket, since all you have is adding, you're going to add those two together, 4 plus 1. So now into the second step, 3 squared becomes 9. 4 plus 1 equals 5. Okay, now you still have brackets involved. Okay, there are things inside the brackets here. So you're going to have negative 12 minus 9, which gives you negative 21. So negative 3 next to a bracket will be multiplying here. We'll leave that step for the moment, but just so you remember. Now looking at the second one, 5 times 5 cubed. So you're doing the exponent, okay, because that's the second step. So 5 cubed equals 125. Now you're left with 2 multiplication questions. So negative 3 times negative 21 and 5 times 125. Make sure you're careful with these 2 negative signs when you're using your calculator. Negative times a negative makes a positive 63, and 5 times 125 gets you 625. Last step, add 688. Okay, here's your homework for this section. Please do all the questions. Make sure you check your answers. We're going to slow down and take our time and make sure you guys are following the correct steps and you understand this, because you are going to see it again and again. And make sure you're asking questions, whether it's in class, the next day, okay, email me, whatever you need.